May God welcome you and keep you.
10 best scary religious horror movies of all time. Such has been the popularity of horror flicks that several subgenres within this have been explored. Among these, a particularly intriguing genre is religious horror movies. A robust number of horror movies, dabbling in religiosity or cults, have emerged that instill fear about the unknown world. Some involve deadly satanic or unholy cults, while others elaborate on the dark side of faith and the devil. In this video, we have some of the finest religious horror flicks ever made that are capable of leaving you speechless with their unique concepts.
Before we go into our list, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click from you, but it means a lot to us. Thank you. Let's begin.
Miss out on horror film. The Omen, 1976. If you thought all babies are cute and innocent, think again. The story revolves around a happily married couple, Robert and Catherine. They are desperate for a child, but as luck would have it, Catherine delivers a stillborn child. A priest in the hospital suggests Robert take a newborn, whose mother had died, and Robert does so without telling Catherine about it. They soon relocated to London, but some strange events started surrounding their lives. As people around the young boy start dying, the couple starts guessing that there might be something more to his identity. Shortly after the hype around Exorcist, The Omen managed to scare the living hell out of people. The creepy plot built around the birth of the Antichrist is punctuated by some spine-chilling moments. Although this movie is not high on gore, there are some shocking scenes, such as when a priest is impaled by a church spire, and a reporter gets decapitated by a pane of glass. As if the narrative wasn't scary enough already, Jerry Goldsmith makes it a terrifying experience for the viewer with his haunting musical score that deservingly won the Oscar. Gregory Peck and Lee Remick deliver the goods in terms of acting, but the real winner is the script that offers a buffet for the horror fan. It is believed that many writers were initially hesitant to work in this movie due to the subject matter. You will love this film, but don't blame us for the nightmares later. The Sacrament, 2013. Patrick is a journalist who works for a company that covers bizarre news items. His sister joins a community and moves to a new country. When she invites him to visit her, Patrick is joined by two of his friends, and they travel to the unique region. They are introduced to the community of happy people who worship Father. However, soon they realize that there might be trouble in paradise, and the Father might not be as pure and holy as he seems. The found footage genre has intrigued horror fans, and we have enjoyed some smashing hits like the Blair Witch Project. The Sacrament is influenced by the Jonestown tragedy and successfully creates an aura of fear through the first half. It won't please those who are looking for excitement all through the movie, but if you are willing to enjoy the creepy ambience, you have a delightful climax in store for you. Gene Jones is mesmerizing as the Father, and he seems to be suitably charismatic for the role. The Sacrament is a strong statement on how the so-called religious cults can impact people's lives negatively. Despite the somewhat predictable narrative, it inspires fear and awe in the viewer, and that has been the biggest takeaway from this movie.
What you doing, boy?
My dog, she's under your car.
Oh, well, let's see.
Frailty. An FBI agent gets the shock of his life when a mysterious man, Fenton Meeks, walks into his office to reveal something terrible. Apparently, his father was delusional and believed that he was on a mission from God to eliminate the demons who lived in human bodies. As a result, he murdered people whom he perceived to be demons, and his two sons, Fenton and Adam, were his accomplices. While Fenton did not approve of the idea, Adam idolized his father. The FBI agent is willing to be shown the victim graves, but the story soon takes a gruesome turn. Few films manage to capture the horror of religious murders as well as Frailty did. It shows you just how far some disillusioned people can go and commit acts of evil in the name of God. The story of a deranged man from Texas who went on a killing spree is sure to give you the chills. The narrative is so fluid that it is hard to believe Bill Paxton tried his hand at direction for the first time. He also played the role of the psychotic father, and alongside him, Matthew McConaughey and Matt O'Leary are stunning in their respective roles. This movie has some action-packed moments when you see the victims being hacked with an axe to the head and then being chopped up and buried in the garden. The plot twists come at the most unexpected junctures, and you would be left shocked with the fast-changing sequences. When the final twist makes the final revelation, you can barely move from your seats. This brilliant effort certainly deserved more appreciation than it received. The Exorcism of Emily Rose, 2005. This movie is based on a true event in Germany, although the plot shows the setting to be in the US. A young girl named Emily Rose dies, and the exorcist is blamed for the death. As the trial begins, the lawyer representing the priest makes an interesting case in his defense. Soon the trial becomes a battle between faith and science, where the father tries to draw our attention to the dark forces at work, and the prosecuting attorney trying to establish that it is all a lie. But what actually happened to young Emily? A movie about exorcism and based on a true story was bound to generate interest among the audiences, and this film did not disappoint. There are some frightening moments that are well shot with some innovative camera angles. We haven't seen a combination of a courtroom drama with a scary story, and the electric script carries both flawlessly. Jennifer Carpenter simply nailed the mannerisms of Emily, and it is said that she locked herself for hours in a room full of mirrors to prepare for the role. The scenes where she acts possessed are nothing short of incredible. Besides the scary scenes, there are some emotional moments as well, such as when you see Emily suffering through the trauma. The best part about the movie is that it is a thought-provoking experience that will leave you wondering whether Emily Rose actually died from the possession or epilepsy. The Wicker Man, 1973. Sergeant Howie heads to a remote island to investigate a case of a missing girl. Although the complaint was made to the mainland, he finds no trace of such a girl once he arrives. In fact, everyone on the island seems to have strange rituals, and they claim that they have never seen the little girl. When he starts investigating thoroughly, he finds some crucial clues that point to a horrific fact. The entire island might be practicing a strange cult that demands some sacrifices. Who is next in line to be sacrificed? The Wicker Man would rank among the finest occult thrillers ever made. The plot promises a thrilling journey that would creep you out in several instances. The director, Robin Hardy, was working with an extremely low budget and yet managed to create the ambience that made this movie rank among the best British horror flicks. This is a great example of how a successful horror movie can be made without any violence or gore. It has some powerful acting performances by the likes of Edward Woodward, who stunned the audience as the bewildered sergeant. In a small role, Christopher Lee stole our hearts, as one clue leads to another and the sergeant gets closer to the truth. You would enjoy the adrenaline rush, and the musical score perfectly fits the mood. Long after you have watched this movie, the final scene as the credits roll in will be a permanent image ingrained on your mind.
Are you not the babysitter?
No, I'm not the babysitter. My friend.
The House of the Devil, 2009. Samantha is a young college student who plans to make some money through babysitting. However, when she arrives at the designated house, she is told that she has to look after an elderly lady and not a child. As Samantha explores the house, she soon finds out that the inhabitants are hiding a terrifying secret. Her worst nightmare comes alive when she realizes that they intend to use her, dead or alive. Although this movie was released in the year 2009, it offers a fine throwback to the religious horror that reigned supreme in the 80s. The makers purposely use a lot of 80s movie references in some of the scenes. The problem with this film is that it might appear to be a bit too slow for some of the audiences. They use up almost 30 minutes before Samantha even reaches the house. The slasher fans wouldn't be too pleased with the anticlimactic nature of the final scenes, but the idea is undoubtedly unique. Samantha's best friend provides some much-needed comic relief to lighten the mood. You will find yourself somewhat attached to Samantha in the course of the journey. Jocelyn Donahue is just the perfect fit for the role. As you go deeper into the story, you would be embracing the spooky feeling as the evil comes to the fore, an evil that knows no bounds. The Prophecy, 1995. The Archangel Gabriel has plans of ending the stalemated war in heaven. For this, however, he would need to collect a soul from Earth. The only ones who can stop his evil plans are a priest who turned into a cop, a teacher, and a little girl. Gabriel wants the little girl dead and would go to any extent to fulfill the plans. 3 mortals thus find themselves in the middle of a war raging in heaven. The Prophecy has an interesting plot dwelling on some heavenly conflicts of power. However, the real star of the movie is the perfect casting. Christopher Walken stuns in the role of Archangel Gabriel, and everything about his character, from his wicked sense of humor to his vicious nature, appeals to the fans. He is unhappy with God's love for humans and takes on the angels who are loyal to God. Watch out for the appearance of Satan towards the end when the dark scenes turn darker. You also have some terrifying moments, such as inside the cave, where you can see angels impaled on spikes. A sequel was made, but it never attained the same status as this one. This fun horror movie can provide you with the perfect break after a long, hard day.
Lick me! Lick me!
The Exorcist, 1973. A Hollywood actress who is separated from her husband gets to visit her preteen daughter Reagan. She lives